Go live. Yes.
3, 2, 1.
All right, everybody. Welcome to our live stream today. This is the Games, and we are live streaming details about the Beyblade World Cup coming up mid this month.
Yeah, it's June.
It's June. So coming up June 26th, I think it is, somewhere around
21st.
21st. Wow, even sooner than I thought.
Yeah.
Coming up June 21st is the BWC 2023 World Cup in Florida, and we are going to be flying out there and participating in this World Cup, as well as a lot of the bladers from Texas are going to be heading over there and participating, which we're really excited about. We really want Texas to show up and show that we are in line with a lot of the other really competitive scenes out there. So the BWC is going to be a big event, and we're going to talk about all the different events that are going to be happening there, and we're going to entertain you with some Beyblade battles going on here while we discuss. So let's get one of those started. Right now we've got a Dynamite plus F Perseus versus a Dynamite plus F Valkyrie. Same spin direction stamina types. I should take this pretty easily. 3, 2, 1. Let that noise clean up. Oh, she took it. She took it.
You're gonna take it pretty easy.
Gonna take it pretty easily as I get knocked out right away. We're gonna.
So, how many different events do we have going on for the Beyblade World Cup?
There are a lot, but there are the 4 big ones, in my opinion. I guess 5 big ones.
Okay.
So, 3, 2, 1. First off is the Dark Horse Tournament, and we're not really going to talk about the Dark Horse Tournament in this video or during the stream too much. Dark Horse is an invitational event that's happening on the Friday. And so, bladers that won in the regionals get an invitation to go to the Dark Horsemen. It's a special event with a lot of different things going on all throughout the event. So, it is a lot. There's a lot going on, and you should be prepared for that. Now, the people that won those tournaments should be looking into it and handling that themselves. It's a very select participant pool, so I'm not going to worry about talking about you guys, because you guys are all here to learn about what you guys might be doing for this BWC. I won that and then revived you.
So that's 2 points for me. Or did mine come to a complete stop?
Oh man, that sucks, JT. You're not going to be able to make it there? Yeah, you came to a stop and then I started you back up.
Alright.
3, 2, 1, 3. That's too bad. We won't be able to see you there. We're going to be going in on Friday. We'll be hanging out during the Dark Horsemen. I think we might help judge or help organize.
Yeah, we volunteered. I'm really interested in seeing how they put on an event of this size. Since we've been hosting the smaller tournaments, we've have up to 40 people plus, at least one parent per participant usually. So, we have a relatively small event. I think it'll be interesting to see what all goes into hosting these larger events, because I am interested in looking at doing that on a larger scale in the future.
Yes. So we're going to learn a lot from this, from hanging out, and we're going to be helping them make sure they are all organized. But the big thing is the King of the Hill. That's the first and most important of the tournaments, so let's talk a little bit about that. 3, 2, 1. So the King of the Hill is the main event. There's going to be 2 different tournaments for it. The first is on Saturday, and that's going to be the pools. They have 2 different modes for the pools. Either it's going to be if there's 75 or less participants at the tournament, there will be 1 pool. If there is more than 75, they're going to split it up into 2 evenly sized pools. And those pools are going to compete against each other to see who gets to go on to the semis. And then from then on to the finals. They kind of named it a little bit weird. Semis is like a second tournament after pools. Took that big win. So it'll be pools, then there will be semis, and then there will be the top 8 finals. And the semis is how you got from pools into the top 8.
Hi, Lazy Blader. The Beyblade World Cup will be in Florida. It's hosted by Beyblade Premier. On their website, you can take a look if you're interested in more information.
Oh man, you were even invited to the Dark Horsemen? Man.
Oh, JT. That's an awesome time. Congratulations on getting the invite.
I got eliminated in 5th, I think, so I didn't make it there. Let's swap it up. Yeah, let's swap it up. Do something different. Let's do some attack battles.
Okay, attack battles.
Do a quick, exciting one.
Switch to a left spin launcher here.
So it's gonna be broken up into 2. The pools is pick 3, choose 1. 3, 2, 1.
Oh!
Destroyed me there. So pick 3, choose 1 is you build a deck of 3 Beyblades. and there can be no repeating parts across your Beyblades. So you would set up something like this. There would be 3 completely unique Beyblades, no repeating parts, nothing the same between any of them. And then you would show your Beyblades, and they're going to show you their Beyblades, and they're going to be like, these are my 3. And you're going to look at their combos, look at your combos, and then you only get to pick one of your Beyblades. You're going to pick which Beyblade you're picking in secret, so you look at these and you're going to be like, I'm going to pick this one. And your opponent is going to pick one specific Beyblade, and then you're going to battle those 2 out against each other. And then you're going to be locked into those Beyblades that you picked. The strategy around P3C1 is usually you're going to have one Beyblade that you can rely on for any type of battles. That's going to be something like a Dynamite Plus F Perseus or a Bearing Drift on Wind Excalibur or something like that. 3, 2, 1, 2.
Oh!
Crushed and bursted.
I feel like that might have been an in the air hit. That was a really fast burst.
That was a very fast burst. I think it was a snipe burst. Shit, we don't count those. Yeah, so you're going to have your super safe pick, and that's usually what you're going to end up using because you're going to not know what your opponent's going to throw out. And in P3C1, you need to throw out what's going to win against the most possible combinations.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, 2. Usually your deck will have an attacker like one of these 2. Oh, you bounced back in.
I did. I lost a lot of stamina.
I think I win it, yeah. Maybe. You have a good spin steal, though.
Oh.
Nope, I took it. I took it. Alright.
Alright.
So you're going to have an attacker like this. The reason you have an attacker in your P3C1 deck is if you see something in their setup that looks like it will slay your reliable pick. So if I've got this going on, and I'm like, this is my reliable pick in my deck, I've got this, and I know it works really well, and then I see this in the opponent's deck, so this is a World Spriggan. This absolutely counters my combo. And if they go with this, I will lose. So I have to think about, okay, are they going to pick that one? Because it's risky. Because if they pick this one, and I pick this, it's a guaranteed win for me. This thing's going to burst into pieces. So you have to have an attacker threat in your deck to stop those niche picks and secret kind of hidden winners. Oh, come on. 3, 2, 1, 2. Oh. Man, we're gonna have such a good time fighting at Worlds, and now I just get to win the championship because JT's not gonna be there. 3, 2, 1, 3.
Okay, I'm over it.
You're over it. You're over the attack medals.
I'm not warmed up enough for attack types this morning.
Okay. Toss that in.
Sure. That's also a left spin.
That's also a left spin. Alright, this is a left spin burst. 3, 2, 1, 3. Opposite spin battles here. So we have your attacker, you have your reliable pick, and then usually you're going to have either the opposite of your reliable pick. So if your reliable pick's a right spin stamina, you're going to have a left spin stamina available, just in case, again, your opponent has a complete set of counters.
What do we got this World Spriggan on?
That is drift. So that is wheel and drift. That is the right spin killer or opposite spin killer, whatever spin direction it goes in, it slays. This combo that Bry's using here is actually sent to me by this guy over here, I'm pretty sure.
JT?
Yeah.
Gave us that one?
So that is burst. It's very similar. It's not the same. So this is burst Longinus on 10. We got it on over, and then I put it on high extend plus dash in this particular combo. That was because at the tournament we were running this in, there was a lot of left spinners, and it was we didn't want this thing to get countered out by the left spinners, where you'd usually use it on something that is more of a right spin counterer.
Lazy Blader was asking, does it drift KO itself? I've said not against that Dynamite Perseus combo.
So drift will KO itself if you pull it really hard. How it wins is you pull it very softly. So we're going to show this. You're going to grab Perseus here. I'm going to grab World Spriggan on drift. As long as you pull drift super lightly, fighting an opposite spinner like this, 3, 2, 1, I'm going to barely pull it all. I have no worry that I'm going to KO myself because I didn't put any power into it, and it's not going to get that wild attack. I pulled super lightly to the point that it almost fell over right away. It's going to spin steal like a boss, and it's going to counter out its opponent here.
I don't know, you might lose this one. You're looking a little wobbly, sir.
I don't know. I'll spin steal for days. So this is all about countering out right spinners is what I set up this world to do. Yep, that's what it's made for. So it's going to continually take hits onto that driver, or onto that base there, the wheel, and they're constantly hitting this and giving me a little bit more spin. I have a little bit of roundness around here to gain constant control, and it makes for a really great counter to the standard right spin stems.
What do we got over there?
We got, that makes a lot of sense. Drift is definitely my preferred driver on it, but sometimes switch it for BDR if I'm suspecting Vanish and other burst methods. So yeah, so this, the combo here on, or no, the combo here, tossing this thing on Drift is very similar to Whirl. This is like the upgraded kind of version of using a Whirl Sprigget, is using a burst, usually in high mode to battle opposite spinners. That thing is going to act very similarly. It's a little bit heavier, so it wins a little bit more often. 3, 2, 1, rip. This one doesn't win too often with this Whirl Sprigget. What it does is it ties, and it ties out and eliminates the reliable stamina pick from your opponent from the battle.
Got another question on there.
Got there. This is a continuation of the last one. So, sort of, yes, our stream a while ago. Last stream? Was that last stream?
It's been a little while since we've done it.
It's been a little while since we did the stream. We did do a talk about what kind of bays we were expecting to see in BWC. Now that we know more details about BWC, what we're talking about here is we want to talk about the different formats that exist and how to build decks, what to watch out for, what's going to happen.
Hi, Azamillion. Nice to see you. Thanks for coming. Lazy Blader says, what combo would you recommend with Wave Dash? Do you have a video on that one yet?
I don't recommend using Wave Dash very much.
Right.
Wave
That's
Dash
not a preferred for you?
Doesn't perform particularly well in any area. It's a very standard, reliable kind of pick. 3, 2, 1, strip. If you're fighting someone that doesn't have the full collection to dip into, Wave Dash is totally great. But the problem with Wave Dash is that it doesn't excel at anything at all. And so as soon as you start to get into bladers that know stuff like this, where I'm using this bearing on, or this drift on World, it's going to lose out. It just can't keep up. You remember the guy who won the last tournament with Vanish Achilles with BDR and Guilty Longinus with Gold Dash? That would be me. That's cool.
Welcome, thanks for coming back.
Thanks for joining.
Okay, so that's the King of the Hill, that's Saturday?
The starting pools is Saturday.
Okay.
So semis and top 8 are going to be on Sunday. Pools is Saturday. Pick 3, choose 1 is that format of you need a reliable right spinner, a reliable left spinner, and an attacker. If you build your deck like that, you're going to always have an answer to what you see in your opponent's deck. The reason you don't want to build 3 in the same, or both your reliables in the same spin direction, is that then they will use a counterer to that spin direction.
Right.
So if my opponent came up to me with a deck of 2 right spinners, somehow something like that came up, I would easily be able to pick World into this and beat them. So you have to be able to have your deck set up to be able to fight somebody that is going to have that kind of reliable opponent. When we move on to the semis in Sunday, the semis is 5G. So 5G format works a lot different than P3C1, and that's that you need a deck of 5 Beyblades with 0 repeating parts.
Oh, okay.
Then you organize your bays in a random order that your opponent does not know.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to pick your ordering, and then you're going to go, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you have to battle in that order.
Yeah.
What this does is it significantly weakens spin direction counters. So like World does really bad in 5G because you don't know what you're going to fight. And World should only ever fight its opposite spin opponent. Let's do these two.
Okay.
So in a 5G format, what happens is you would get your first lineup and you'd be like, oh, we've got these. And in this scenario, this would be ideal for Bri over there because she got her left spin counter there. 3, 2, 1, sprint. But if I had a right spin, her barricade here would get absolutely dominated. So you can't really have those bays in a 5G deck that only beat one specific thing. You have to have super reliable combos that work in both spin directions and are not too kind of wonky.
I can't guess, Azamillion. I guessed you were going to Florida and I was wrong. You gotta just tell me.
Is it Texas? You won that one.
Oh, I have Volt's Beyblade. That's cool.
Volt's Beyblade, you got yourself a Valtryek. 3, 2, 1, got some stuff over here. Lots of participation. Okay. Vanish BDR is a constant fixture in our meta. That definitely makes sense. It's not in ours. Vanish BDR is not at all in the Texas meta.
Yeah.
We almost never see it.
And why is that? You sort of analyzed.
I countered it out with Greatest Raphael.
Right.
So when it was a staple, when Vanish was showing up all the time, wow, I absolutely didn't.
Destroyed that one, yeah.
When Vanish was a staple in our meta in Texas, I busted out Greatest Raphael into our deck format, and Greatest Raphael destroyed Vanish. Vanish just can't beat it. 3, 2, 1, trip. And so it kind of became playable. We're like, well, I can't run Vanish. He's just going to run Greatest Raphael and beat me. And so Vanish disappeared, and people stopped playing it.
Yeah, sure.
Now, Greatest Raphael is really weak against everything else. It's pretty much just a Vanish Slayer. So I can't really actually use it that often, but it did kill Vanish out of our tournaments. Tied that one up. So yeah, 5D, we're not going to see combos like this one show up, or you shouldn't. Or if it does, you're probably going to beat them. Because again, you can't control who it's going to fight.
But that might be kind of their throwaway. You know, maybe they put a first one that's not really strong and kind of give a false...
It's possible, and it really depends on what they're going to have in their deck.
Yeah.
You might have that in your deck just to hope that you fight a left spinner.
Oh, wrong
Spun it the wrong way.
Wrong launcher.
3, 2, 1, trip. So, preparing for the players that know how to handle 5G, you need a deck of 5 reliable, can beat both spin directions. If you don't have that, you're probably going to lose out in 5G. Then we're going to go to deck format 3-on-3 for the top 8. Deck format is what is... I prefer it over everything else. And deck format is you build 3 bays, again, no repeating parts. But how it works is after each match, the loser decides if the winner has to change.
You took that by just a slight amount.
Yeah. So, in that, let's just show it going on right now. So, I just took her by a slight amount. Let's give you a deck.
Yeah.
Let's give me a deck.
So I lost there. So I'm going to say, okay, I'm struggling with this Beyblade. I don't want to replay, so I'm going to say switch.
So you're going to say switch, and I have my Vanish Kitty. So in deck format, I would look at my Vanish Kitty. I'm going to decide, am I going to play my Vanish Kitty, or am I going to swap to one of my other bays? When she says switch, I don't necessarily have to, but I have to lock in my choice, and then she gets to react to it. So if she did that and she said switch, I'm going to be like, I'm going to stay. Because if you're not confident in that and that's my counter, I should be okay. Now you have 2 bay options. You've got Vanish, or you've got Guilty, and you've got a Dyna F. These 2 are going to be a toss-up against each other, right?
It's going to be a
long stamina battle, and there's not a reliable known winner. Vanish is actually pretty weak to Guilty as an attacker, and that's kind of why Guilty is one of the strongest attackers in the meta. So it might be a good shot if she feels confident in her attack pattern.
I'm going to get a test launch, please.
Sure.
That's why I wanted a test
Always
launch.
make sure that you do test launches when you're running attack types to remember how to launch them, because they launch differently and you should be prepared for landing in the correct position. Alright. Spread dash or Giga to prevent scraping in case BDR decides to go wild. I rock Vanish in high mode with spread dash, and it handles greatest pretty decidedly.
Nice.
Or decently, not decidedly.
Is Keep Dash good against attack types?
Keep Dash is reliable against attack types. I think stronger defensive options have entered the field. 3, 2, 1, trip. And what we're going to run into when using things like Keep Dash... Oh, I pulled way too light.
Yeah.
So she beats me. So now I might say switch stay or replay. So I might go switch. Just to talk more about deck format.
I'm going to say, I'm going to stay.
You're going to stay. Okay. I'm going to switch over to this.
Okay.
Right. So that's kind of how deck format goes. And you go back and forth and you try and counter out your opponent's pick or have a solid, reliable pick going on. So that's what's going on with deck. Talking about keep, the issue with defensive types in general and countering attack types is that the driver almost doesn't matter anymore. 3, 2, 1, trip.
Oh, nice.
So stay or replay. So this would be where she would probably replay, because she wants to try that again. She KO'd herself. I didn't win that fight.
Alright, I'll stay.
So if she says replay, I can't change. If
Right. If it's a replay.
So you say
Yeah,
replay, I cannot change.
Yeah.
And we have to do that again. 3, 2, 1, Stop killing yourself. You really shouldn't be doing that if you're using attack types.
Yeah, I'm a little bit out of practice. We haven't Beybladed in like 2 weeks.
Right. So the issue with keep is that defense types in general just can't keep up right now, and how you counter out attackers with defense is it has to be a defensive layer like we're kind of talking about. Use a defensive layer like Burst that has rubber to slow down the attackers, and then use a reliable stamina base that's going to live. The defensive bases just can't handle the weight of Beyblades anymore, and they've really fallen out of the meta.
Alright, so after the King of the Hill.
Wait, I want to finish up on this first. You used Burst, Spriggan, Illegal Quick Dash. That's a decent rubber-style attacker. It's very similar to Judgment Joker. The problem, is just that beys weigh so much that rubber attackers don't quite have the longevity in tougher tournaments. You hate 3-on-3. 3-on-3, I definitely hate the 3 stamina types. I like deck because you can counter out the stamina types and you can't just run 3 staminas in deck format, but in 3-on-3 format it is always just 3 stamina types. And 5G is pretty similar. 5G is mostly just 5 stamina types, or maybe 4 staminas and an attack. As JT Drew said, Zeal or Unite Dash kind of beats Keep out. Keep has fallen out a lot just because it can't really hold on to the stadium floor as well as it needs to, and it doesn't have the longevity of stamina that we're needing to find.
I'm blaming the camera equipment because I just don't feel like I have the ripping space, you know?
Okay. 3, 2, 1. Took it. So yeah, that's going to be the final top 8 is going to be deck, and that's really where you're going to show how good you are at Beyblade, in my opinion. 3, 2, 1.
Oh.
My back wall hit you though, so I won. But it's going to be interesting. King of the Hill is the main tournament and the most important thing. Now, Meta Masters comes up as the next kind of big tournament event, and Meta Masters is really interesting. There's 2 tournament formats in Meta Masters. The first is Top Rubber. In Top Rubber, you're locked down to these drivers. So that's Anchor, Evolution, Hunter, Jolt, Quattro in attack mode, Quick, Variable, Exceed, Extreme, and Explosion. You can only use those drivers, and that means that it's just going to be a big tournament full of heavy attackers that are going to be smashing into each other. This is going to be the tournament to show who is really good at knocking out, KOing your opponents. We're going to see a lot of Excaliburs. We're going to see a lot of Guilties. She's got it in her hand still. You're going to see some Ultimates and some Saviors. So it's going to be these 2, Ultimate and Savior, are the most common things you're going to see. You might see a couple of bursts. As Ultimate Striker over here was saying, you will see a little bit of burst. It's not going to be nearly as common as the other 4. And I think the Saviors are probably going to lose out. Anybody bringing Savior to this competition probably is going to get eliminated earlier on, and by the end of it, we're probably just going to see these 2 fighting each other. I think Ultimate falls off a little bit too hard compared to these 2, and I think Savior is quite a bit further behind. So this tournament is going to end up being heavy attackers smashing into each other. There's going to be people that are going to go into this tournament going, sure, I have to use an attack base, but I'm going to build the most stamina-y or most defense-y option that I can to try and win. So you're definitely going to see that. I don't think they're going to win the tournament, but they are going to do some surprise upsets doing that strategy. And you're going to see a couple of people that you would think would go further in it get eliminated. 3, 2, 1, 6. Make sure to practice your attack game, which is kind of what we're doing here to try and get our practice up.
Make sure you get that landing.
3, 2, 1, 6. The thing to note on attack is that the flower pattern is a lot less important.
Okay.
Because you're not trying to knock them out of the middle. They're not going to be in the middle. They're either going to be flower patterning or they're going to be whipping around the outside.
Right.
So you can actually pretty much just launch them flat as possible and really hard. 3, 2, 1, 2. And that should keep them in the arena.
Interesting. Okay, that's good to know.
A lot more reliably. So this is exclusively to attack on attack. You can pretty much launch them flat And if you land them in the middle and flat, they'll smash into each other and eventually go into a nice attack battle that is pleasing to watch and enjoyable. Ah, you took it. Your hit stopped me. If barricade without the rubber blades, like you cut off all the rubber blades, it'd be a big square meanie or hexagonal meanie. 3, 2, 1, trip.
Alright,
So that'll be MetaMasters. It's
rubber?
a one-on-one.
Okay.
So you only have one Beyblade. You don't get to switch. It's just going to be like, this is my attacker, and I'm going to try and attack this up.
Okay.
So it's going to be an interesting event. Same spin is going to be a little bit different. So now, in same spin, you're going to have that guy, and you're going to have that guy. And I'm going to have...
He left.
What? Yes, right, left.
Oh, I see. 2 bays, 1 left, 1 right. Gotcha.
1 left, 1 right. This would be terrible. That would be terrible. None of these would be good. I don't have the parts to show this, but we'll steal that. That'll work.
So they have to be able to switch spin direction? Is
No.
that? Oh, okay.
You need one Beyblade that is a left spinner and one Beyblade that is a right spinner.
Okay.
In same spin, between every round, or at the start of every round, your judge is going to flip a coin. Come on. Why are you not switching?
Heads are left,
This thing doesn't
tails
switch.
are right, or something like that.
Yeah. So your judge is going to flip a coin, and that coin is going to decide what spin direction both contestants have to pick.
Okay.
And then you need to be able to use your Beyblade in that spin direction to fight your opponent. So in this scenario, you're going to build 2 Beyblades. So you have yourself a burst longinus here, and you've got yourself a dynamite Perseus. We're going to switch your burst longinus over to low mode because in same spin direction stamina battles, you don't want high mode. High mode is less stable in that scenario. In opposite spin, high mode gives you some advantage of outward force to be able to get that longer end spin, which is kind of why high mode works better in opposite spin battles. But in same spin, it would be like this. So we would get our 2 bays, and then someone is going to flip a coin.
Pretend the judge.
And we're going to flip this coin. And that's tails. And so on tails, we both have to pick our left spinner. So that's this and that.
Okay.
And then we'd have to battle these out. So going into MetaMaster's same spin battles, you have to build combos, not your standard stamina combos necessarily. We're going to see a lot more high extend plus dash and nevers, I think, in this. Although bearing drift is going to kind of ruin it, and it might be banned. It is banned in a couple of these tournaments. We'll see.
Oh, is it? Okay.
It's banned in this one for sure.
Interesting.
3, 2, 1. So because this is a same spin stamina battle contest, you have to pull as hard as you can, and you have to be able to outspin your opponent in a decisive stamina victory. This isn't going to be those last second life after death stamina battles. This is going to be, I ripped the hardest and I have the most reliable, smoothest exterior to win this same spin direction battle. Wow. I would call that a tie. It's working.
Okay. Why doesn't the screen turn on?
It's streaming the camera, but my phone's inactive, so the phone turned its screen off.
Okay,
So.
alright, cool.
Moon on Guilty is secret tech, right? 3, 2, 1. So this is going to be an interesting contest because the standard stamina that you see are going to have problems.
Yes!
So that's something that's going to happen is that you're ripping really hard on stamina types, hitting other stamina types, and you're going to see some bursts. It's going to be interesting.
That's what we like.
You're also going to see, non-standard combos come out because some of these stamina bases that are better at same spin, 3, 2, 1, usually get trumped by their opposite spin kind of counterpart. So this is going to be an interesting tournament that we're going to see that's going to come up there. Then there's Iron Blader contest. The Iron Blader contest is 4 rounds that you get to play in all 4 of the rounds. So you're going to play 4 matches.
And is that on the Saturday as well?
That is on the Sunday.
Oh, okay.
After King of the Hill ends. So there'll be the first King of the Hill, then I think MetaMasters is...
Got you!
You did. I think it's King of the Hill and MetaMasters on Saturday, and then King of the Hill and Iron Blader on Sunday.
I take that.
You do. So we can swap over to our other ones. Sure. Right spinner. Iron Iron Blader, you're going to play 4 rounds. The first round is 5G format. 3, 2, 1. I guess the first 2 rounds are 5G format. But you're going to... Iron Blader is all about who can get the most points in the 4 rounds.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And so you're going to play 4 rounds, and then we're going to see across everybody at the Iron Blader who got the most points at the end of those 4 rounds. You're going to get points for your knockouts, your bursts, your spinouts. You're also going to get extra points every 2 knockouts you get, every 2 bursts you get, and if you're undefeated.
Cool.
And so you're going to get points throughout this for what you managed to get in the 2 5G rounds, the Tag Me round, and then the 3v3v3 round.
Well, has Beyblade Premier, they've hosted one of these before.
They've hosted a big event before. It wasn't the Worlds.
The Worlds. So this is, they've got a lot going on at this tournament.
They got a lot going on. Yeah. So Iron Blader, you're going to play that 5G round. You're going to play 2 5G rounds. So you have to build those 5G decks. 4 stamina types and a guilty, pretty much, is what you're going to see going on with that. They're going to have to be reliable, same spin and opposite spin handling stamina types. So you're not going to see drift or metal drift. And I'm pretty sure... Oh, yeah. Drift is banned in Tag Me, but we'll talk about that. That's where it's banned. Yeah, you're not really going to see drift in the 5G because it loses to same spin direction. You're going to be seeing a lot of bearing drift. You're going to be seeing a lot of bear itself. High extend plus dash. Never. Those are what you're going to be seeing. 3, 2, 1, drift. This is probably one format where, to answer that earlier question, you could use wave dashing. Because wave dash is kind of reliable enough, and in a 5G, it's hard to build 5 super reliable Beyblades. So you build 2 really reliable ones, you have an attacker, and then you kind of have 2 average bays in your deck.
Right.
And the secret to 5G is figuring out when to play your average picks and when to play your best picks. You can start off strong and go, this is my best Beyblade. And it's going to beat most things. And if your opponent does the same in the first pick, you guys both just lost your reliable pick, and one of you has to lose that round.
2 points for me?
Yes, 1 more. So, because one of you has to lose that round eventually, you might not want to come out the gate with your strongest bay. 3, 2, 1, you might want to come out the gate with your weakest bay and consume their strongest bay trying to beat
And
it.
psychologically instill a false sense of confidence in them. Yes.
Some of that can exist. They can be like, oh, you were so easy. I destroyed you. And you're like, that was my weakest bay. I'm going to come at you with stronger stuff now, and you just wasted your bearing drift kind of deal. So there's some strategy of that in 5G. There's also when to use your attacker in 5G. I recommend usually 3rd round is like the best time to come out with your attacker. And that's because if you're losing in round 3 and you pull out your attacker and you get 2 points, that was me?
Yes.
So at the end of round 3, pull out your attacker, or in round 3, pull out your attacker. Now you might get 2 points for a burst, or is this a 2-point knockout? No, it's not.
No.
Oh, 5G is. 5G is 2-point
5G
knockout.
is 2-point knockout?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
3, 2, 1, so if you won the first 2 rounds and you round 3 an attacker, that's going to get, you might get your extra 2 points. It puts you in such a huge lead. If you're losing in round 3, so if you lost the first 2, you need to pull that attacker out to tie up the match. So a lot of attack on attack matches happen in round 3. Now thinking about that, that might be the best time to play your defensive combo, because your opponent's probably going to be playing their attacker in round 3 if they haven't yet, kind of deal.
Yeah.
But you have to have this already preset ahead of time. You can't make that decision later. You have to set up your 5 bays in order
hope for the best.
and hope for the best. So you got to kind of think about what's going to happen there. I
We
took
took
that one.
that one. We tied it up. Okay,
Tied it up.
Let's go.
So this is going to be what's really interesting about the same spin Meta Masters. 3, 2, 1. We're not going to see the long drawn out battles that you see in opposite spin stamina matches, and it's going to be really slow. It's not going to be the really slow finishes. There's going to be decisive victories.
Thanks for the likes over on TikTok, guys. We're just chatting about the different types of formats that we are going to see later this month at the Beyblade World Cup in Florida, hosted by Beyblade Premier. We're talking about the whole bunch of different types of tournaments that are going to be having over the course of that weekend. So it will be interesting to see all of that.
And be sure to stay tuned throughout this, because at the end of our stream we're going to be talking about upcoming giveaway announcements on our channel. Prizes and giveaways for Beyblade X. So if you stick around throughout all this and give us some sweet views,
I took that.
That was you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
We should do some more of these battles because that was entertaining to watch.
It was.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so we'll be talking about some Beyblade X stuff at the end of this, but that is, you're gonna have to sit patiently and watch us talk about all this stuff first.
So
you're gonna do the two 5Gs.
Two 5Gs.
The interesting thing about 5G as well, you can have one spin direction changer.
Okay.
So that's gonna throw things up. You're gonna have things like World Spriggan exist because this will beat every stamina and defense combo that spins in the opposite spin direction 70% of the time. I'm gonna say 70% of the time. It's pretty reliable. It won't win everyone. It's gonna tie a lot, and then it's going to end up winning. 3, 2, 1. Oh, you burst me.
Wow, where did that go? Down the hallway. Luckily, it didn't take out one of my cats.
Where did my base go?
I don't know. Meow. Right there?
Right there. No.
No, you weren't on drift.
I was on drift.
You were on drift.
Was that it?
That was
bounced and landed
it bounced
there?
and landed in
That's
the carry case.
wild.
Very good. All right.
Wild.
Yeah, bursts.
That's what I get for using Kitty. You can't use Kitty in Spin Masters. 3, 2, 1. Oh, Kitty victory lap.
Okay, so then there's tag me.
So I want to finish about that. Having the spin direction changer, you're going to see stuff like World Spriggan that can spin direction. You're going to see things like Burst on Spriggan 2. Burst is going to show up on Spriggan 2 on a reliable stamina because they can change spin directions.
Meow.
You can only have one spin changer in your deck. 3, 2, 1. So you can only have one Beyblade that is capable of changing spin direction in your deck.
Oh, that's interesting.
And you can only change spin direction once. Come on. No, you took it.
Yes.
With the burst in that, she wins.
Got it.
Alright, back to these two.
All right.
Actually, we haven't done that one versus that yet.
This one?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Cool.
Do some more of that.
Do some of that.
Okay, now tag me.
So after that is Tag Me. So the Tag Me battle set is 2 Beyblades. It's a deck format with 2 Beyblades, but one of your Beyblades has to be attack.
Okay.
3, 2, 1. So this is going to be 2 Beyblades in your deck. One has to be an attack combo, and one has to be something else, and drift is banned. You're not allowed a Beyblade that says drift in its name.
Any drift.
Any
not
drift.
metal, not... Okay.
No drift, no metal drift, no bearing drift, no metal bearing drift. Drift is banned.
I think that's probably a good call. It kind of sucks for people that really like to use it, but it has dominated since they released it.
Yeah, it killed the meta. It made it a lot less fun. And so, not being able to, or not having drift exist in this Tag Me is going to be interesting, as well as having everybody's deck has to have an attacker. So this is deck format with an attacker and something else. And what you're going to do is that you're going to have a battle, and then you're going to, the loser is going to decide to switch or replay.
I think that was a tie.
I think you took it.
You think I took it?
I think you took it.
All right, I'll take the point.
She'll take the one.
I walked away with my launcher to make myself a coffee, and I left it over on the counter. Yes,
Very good. Okay, so that's Tag Me, and then we're going to go in 3v3v3, and this I like. So this is 3v3 format, which Drew over here was complaining about 3v3 because it's pretty much always just 3 stamina types. 3, 2, 1, strip. But the 3v3v3 is every match is a different stadium.
Okay.
So it's this stadium, then it's the DB stadium, and then it's the DX stadium.
Nice.
You have 3 Beyblades you pick in secret. You pick your order, and then you have to battle in that order.
Yeah, okay, you show the order, yep.
So you don't show the order. They don't get to see. You show the judge the order, and you keep it hidden. Your opponent doesn't know what you're playing in what order, and you just show your Beyblade, this is my first, this is my second, this is my third, and each one's in a different stadium. After the end of all 4 of those rounds, they're going to see who has the most points, and that player is going to be crowned the Iron Blader. That was big time me.
The Iron Blader.
So that's pretty good. The last thing that we want to talk about, 3, 2, 1, 2, here at BWC, or there at BWC, is going to be the Genesis. And this is, the reason I want to talk about this is that we're probably going to start doing this with Beyblade X here in Texas at our events. Genesis is up to 12 years old tournament. So none of the adults are allowed to participate in this event, and this is just going to be give those kids that are having a good time and there to enjoy a tournament. There are 2 Genesis events, one on Saturday, one on Sunday, for kids to be able to try out their combos, try out their Beyblades, learn and participate against each other with a lower strength gap, is what I would say.
Yeah, Henry, we've had kids like as young as 4 years old, I think, at our tournaments coming out and playing, and they just have such a great time. But it is not as much fun when, you know, some of the older kids or some of the adults that come sort of target the younger kids just to get the points out of it. So I like the idea of having this as an option. It doesn't have to be all the time, right? There's nothing wrong with a younger kid fighting against the teenagers, but sometimes it's nice if they're on the same skill level like you would be in any real sport.
Yeah. So Takara has announced with Beyblade X that they're going to start doing a elementary level event. 3, 2, 1, trip. So there's going to be different levels that you participate in Beyblade X, and then one of them is going to be like elementary only. And I think we're probably going to start doing that in our Texas tournaments. There's going to be an elementary cup and then a competitive cup, and we're going to have to see if the World Beyblade Org is going to let us do that through them, and if not, then we're just going to have to take on doing it ourselves. But we want to even that up so that there is more competition amongst those competing against each other, as well as our younger kids get to get further into tournaments and have more fun.
Yeah, right now any tournament that's hosted through the World Beyblade organization, you're not allowed to put an age
limit
restriction on. So we may, if we decide to go that route, we may not be able to host through WBO, but it depends on what changes we see when Beyblade X comes out.
Yeah, so what we're hoping is that they will follow suit with Takara and allow age limitations on the top.
Yeah.
So you have to be this or younger. 3, 2, 1, trip. If somebody young wants to participate in our bigger tournaments, we're fine with that if that blader wants to.
Yeah.
But I want to give them an option where they can fight people at their skill level.
Yeah, that sounds like a nice thing.
So, to talk about that, and to talk about why some people are here watching us, is because of talking about the announcement of giveaways.
Beyblade X!
So, Beyblade X, imagine graphics. Beyblade X is the next series of Beyblade. It is launching July 15th in Japan. And we're going to get some of those right away. We've got it pre-ordered through Beyblade Premier. We're doing a lot with Beyblade Premier lately. Wow, I took that
You got it.
So Beyblade X is brand new Beyblades. They are going to be way smaller than these ones. They have metal on the outside. You can watch our videos on our main channel talking about that and how they work and all that kind of jazz. But we are going to be doing 3, 2, 1, 4 giveaways when Beyblade X starts, because we want people to get into this new generation and we want to kind of spread the love of Beyblade X.
Spread the love.
So what we're going to do is on each of our Beyblade X videos, you're going to have the chance to win that Beyblade. So we are going to do a giveaway where what we're kind of calling it is you pay the shipping giveaway through Beyblade Premier. And so if you're in North America, Beyblade Premier ships for free. And so you just get a free Beyblade from them for this giveaway. And then if you're not in North America, then what we're going to do is we're going to get you a gift card to Beyblade Premier worth the requirement to buy that Beyblade. 3, 2, 1, trip. So you're going to get a gift card for Drawing Sword, and you have to pay the shipping to get it to you.
Yeah, if
from
outside of North America, that's all. And we have had some people win contests that are in other countries.
Yes.
So we want to make
we've
sure
sent
that
ones to Brazil, we've sent ones to Germany, I think it was, right?
Yeah.
We tried to send one to India. India's was a lot harder to make happen,
Really
and we had to do
difficult,
a weird side kind of transaction to make that all happen. So that was a bit of a pain. But now Beyblade Premier is doing the global shipping, so again, it's going to be you pay the shipping if you're global, and then local. I took all 3.
Give me that kitty back again.
You want the kitty?
I want you to play the kitty.
You want me to play the kitty? You just want to win.
I like burst battles.
So you'll have to watch our unboxings of each of the products. 3.
Now, when is Premier projecting that they will get those in? July?
So they're going to get them in July, probably around July 18th to July 20th, and then we're going to get them probably 2 to 3 days after that.
All right.
And so our unboxings will begin the last week of July or the first week of August, most likely. Now, there could be shipping delays. We can't foresee any of that.
We're estimating early August.
So we're estimating early August.
Do these giveaways, which will be cool.
3, 2, 1, you'll have to watch our unboxing for the Beyblade, and then you'll have to follow the instructions in that video to enter for that particular bay. Each bay is going to have a different set of instructions and a different video associated with it, but you can win yourself a starter set for each of those bays. So we hope you will come to us at Sazaza Games for your information. You took that by a lot. About Beyblade X, we want to be your destination for Beyblade X info, and we're going to be slamming out as much Beyblade X stuff as we can. And to reward you guys for coming to us and having us be your Beyblade X information station, we're going to be doing tons of Beyblade X giveaways for the first 2 years of Beyblade X at least.
2 years?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's going to be a lot. 3, 2, 1, So for the first 2 years of Beyblade X, I see a lot of giveaways happening to try and get people into the generation and get the competitive side of Beyblade X starting locally.
Rebirth JP needs a go shoot.
A go shoot. Now, you go shot me right in the head.
I'm gonna go shoot you one more time.
So this is what Drew over here does. This combo is very similar, usually on drift, but on same spin direction. High extent plus dash works really good. That's going to be something we're going to see here in same spin battles. 3, 2, 1. Oh, I said rip. You need to go shoot.
Ow!
We need to go shoot. Okay, great. See ya, JT. Enjoy your meetup.
By.
Thanks for stopping by. 3, 2, 1, go shoot!
I lost your legs.
She got too excited. Yeah, so that is now 3:52. We got about 8 minutes left on this stream. We hope you enjoyed. We hope you learned stuff about this tournament. If you're going to BWC, we hope to see you there. We are going to have a good time. We're going to try and represent Texas and have at least some recognition going there. Come stop see this guy.
Yeah.
I'll be in a similar blue or white shirt. Sazaza Games information will be on us, and we have a good time. Now you're just messing everything up.
I got it.
Got it.
Alright, let's get one more attack launch off.
Attack battles. Alright, you want guilty or?
I will take.
Okay. She is all about the guilty life. 3, 2, 1.
That to your own self.
I did that to my own self. You were not involved. We're not counting it.
Relaunch.
We don't. We only count if they make contact. All right. 3, 2, 1. Got me that time.
Yep.
She walks away for a victory lap.
That's right. Yeah, the attack types don't last too long in the ring. You're right. Sometimes they just get knocked right out.
That's kind of the boring thing about the size of the stadium to the size of bays, and we're really excited about Beyblade X because the stadiums are so much bigger and the bays are so much smaller. It's a huge stadium with really small bays. They're going to be flying all over the place. It looks really exciting. We
like burst Beyblades, but we're excited for the next generation. Hey, Zachary Parson. Yo, what is up yourself? Welcome, Diego. We are just wrapping up the stream. We've chatted a bit about the Beyblade World Cup, and we hope to see you guys next weekend about this same time as we practice some combos.
Yes, next week will be our pre-tournament combo practice stream, and we'll be doing combos, talking about why we're doing them, talking about why they work, and trying to get into all of that.
Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, everybody.
And if you missed the stream, check it out on our channel. Watch through it. There's some information for how you might win yourself some Beyblade X's if you participate in our channel and stuff. So thank you guys so much for joining our stream. It is time to sign off. We are Sazaza Games, and we will catch you next time.